Okay, on assignment 6.5, I'm going to work out one example of each type of problem, and then I'll show you the worked out solutions to the others so you can pause the video and check your work on the ones that you missed. So on the first 4 problems, you are writing the slope-intercept form, and you want to write the equation of line through the given point with the given slope. So remember, anytime you know a point in the slope, you're going to start off with point-slope form, which is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So your slope goes in for m and your point goes in for the x1 and y1. So we would have y minus a negative 1, which remember becomes plus 1 when you subtract a negative, equals our slope of 1/2 times x minus our x-coordinate of 2. So the signs in front of the 2 and 1 are the opposite of what they were in the point. And remember to put the y in first and then the x. Don't put them in the order they are in the ordered pair. So then your first step to get into slope-intercept form is to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So you would have y plus 1 still on the left side. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x, and then 1/2 times negative 2 is negative 1. So now to get it in slope-intercept form, all we have to do is undo the addition of 1 by subtracting 1 from both sides. And so our y equals 1/2 x minus 2. So in slope-intercept form, your slope should have been 1/2, your y-intercept should have been negative 2. Remember to check your answer by putting your point in for the x and the y and making sure that it does satisfy that equation. So if I put negative 1 in for y and I put 2 in for x, 1/2 of 2 is 1, and 1 minus 2 is equal to negative 1. So it checks. All right, you can go ahead and pause and check the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. All right, on the fifth one, we're writing the slope-intercept form still, but we are given 2 points. We're not given the slope. So the first thing you need to do is stack your points and look at the change in y over the change in x. Always y over x with slope. So my y goes from 1 to 3, so it increased by 2. My x went from 4 to negative 4, so it went down by 8. And always simplify your slope. Remember, it's y over x, not x over y. So we have 2 over negative 8, which reduces to negative 1/4. So now that I know my point and my slope, and I know a point, I actually know 2 points, I'm ready to use point-slope form. It depends on which point you use, what your point-slope form looks like. So if you use 4(1), you would have y minus 1 equals your slope of negative 1/4 times x minus 4. If you use the point negative 4(3), you would have y minus 3 equals your slope of negative 1/4 times x minus a negative 4, so that becomes x plus 4. Your first step again is to get rid of the parentheses by distributing the slope. So your y minus 1 still stays the same on the left side. Negative 1/4 times x is negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times negative 4. A negative times a negative is positive. Those 4's cancel and leaving me with 1. Here we would have y minus 3 still on the left side. Negative 1/4 times x is negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times positive 4 is negative 1. So to get y by itself here, I need to add 1 to both sides, which makes my y-intercept become positive 2, 1 plus 1. Here I would need to undo the subtracting of 3 by adding 3 to both sides. We get the same answer, y equals negative 1/4 x plus 2. So my slope is negative 1/4, my y-intercept is positive 2. Here is the next problem you can pause and check. And then next. And finally on the front page. Okay, let's look at the next set of problems. You need to remember that always parallel lines have the same slope. So when you're writing the equation of the line described and you want to be parallel to this line, all you're looking at is the slope, which is the number in front of x, and you want to keep it the same. So we also want our slope to be 2/5. So I know my slope, I know a point, I'm ready to use point slope form. So I would have y minus, my y coordinate is -1, so remember that becomes +1, equals my slope of 2/5 times x minus my x coordinate of -5, which becomes +5. Distribute my slope, and I get y plus 1 equals 2/5 x. Those 5's cancel, leaving me with a +2. I would get y alone by subtracting 1 from both sides. So I get y equals 2/5 x plus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So my slope is 2/5, just like the equation we were given. My y-intercept is 1. You can pause and check the next few problems. Okay, on the last page, we are looking for lines that are perpendicular to the given one. So remember, perpendicular lines always have opposite reciprocal slopes. So you have to change the sign and you have to flip the fraction, both changes, in order to get your new slope. So on this first one, the slope of the given line is a +4/7. My slope has to be the opposite sign, so it has to be negative, and the reciprocal of that slope, which would be 7/4. So this is the slope I'm using in my point slope form, not the 4/7. So I would have y minus a -3, which becomes y plus 3, equals my new perpendicular slope of -7/4 times x minus my x coordinate of 4. We need to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So I have y plus 3 equals -7/4 x. Watch your signs. Negative times negative becomes positive. Those 4's cancel, leaving me with +7. Then I can undo the addition of 3 by subtracting 3. So we get y equals -7/4 x. 7 minus 3 is +4. So my slope is -7/4. My y-intercept is 4. You can go ahead and check the next few. Remember, don't give mixed number answers. I want to go ahead and work this one with you. Remember, anytime you have x equals a number, this is a vertical line. Vertical lines have no slope. But we want to be perpendicular to that. So perpendicular to a vertical line is a horizontal line. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. So that's what we're going to be using, is a slope of 0. Since we want to be perpendicular to a vertical, we are a horizontal line with a slope of 0. So you can write your point slope form if you want to. It would be y minus that -3, so y plus 3. Equals a 0 slope times x minus a -5, which is x plus 5. But when you distribute 0 times anything, you just get 0. And so to solve for y, you would subtract 3 from both sides and get y equals -3. I said you can do it because it's not necessary. You know your slope is 0. And so you know every point on this horizontal line will have the same y value as the point you're going through, which is -3. So the equation is actually y equals -3 because that slope is 0. You don't really have an x. Here is that last one.